our other board member. Come on up, Haney. Very good.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure to chat with you and talk about what ARIN's doing in the communications and outreach area. I'm going to cover our ongoing responsibilities and talk about some new initiatives that are underway. And first, a picture. I wouldn't normally put a photo of us because all of CMSD usually attends these meetings, but a few new things, and we're missing one of our team members here with us. So just a shout out to Sean Hopkins in the back row middle. He's ARIN's policy analyst and could not travel with us today for the meeting, but he is enjoying the remote participant experience this week, and he's given us a thumbs up, so that's good. And then in the photo to my right, for those of you who have not met Beverly Hicks, Beverly is our new training program coordinator. And thanks to those of you who sat at the table topic lunch the last 2 days and chatted with Beverly about your training needs. And then Tommy Baldwin, to Beverly's right, is our new graphics and digital media designer, and he's with us too. So what does Communication and Member Services Department do? Obviously, putting on the ARIN Public Policy and Members Meetings is one of our major responsibilities, and we do that in collaboration with all of the ARIN departments. It does take a village. Our engineering department, who's responsible for the webcast, the network at the meeting. We have folks from registration services at the help desk. We have folks from our financial area on the registration desk, so it really is a whole Team ARIN effort. But in addition to that, we are responsible for the ARIN content, the content on the website, content on announcements that go out, content on printed materials, and really any of those needs. We also, within the department, facilitate the fellowship program, the membership engagement program. We facilitate elections, the policy process, and we run ARIN's social media and PR efforts. So just a minute while we're looking at this list, I just wanted to call out elections. It's never too early to start thinking about your participation if you're a representative from an ARIN member organization, and that would be an organization that has a direct allocation of resources from ARIN or an assignment of resources from ARIN, and you've opted into membership. So it's good to be looking within ARIN Online to see if you have a properly registered voting contact. And registration process will begin this summer when we open nominations. So you've heard a lot about the new website, and hopefully you all have experienced it. This was a major effort within ARIN, a collaborative effort across many departments, and I know Mark will be talking a little bit later about the engineering aspect and all that went into that. But on the communications side, we're responsible for the content. And there was a lot of work involved in getting that content organized, migrating the content, created a vault to put in a lot of static pages. And I want to thank those of you in the community who took part in our type of user testing. Many of you did the card sort to help us find a navigation that was intuitive to you. So thank you for your participation. And I hope that we will continue to hear from you if there are things that aren't working for you, things you particularly like. There is a feedback button on the top of every page of the website. We continue to move forward with our IPv6 case studies. And here's a list of all of the organizations who have published a case study with us. If your name is missing on that list, please see Jennifer or myself after the meeting, or contact us at blog@arin.net. We're continuing to look for people who'd like to share their implementation experiences. It's a great learning tool, and if you haven't read any of these case studies, I would suggest you take a look at the Team ARIN site. Now to talk about a few new initiatives. The first is the ARIN Leadership Development Program. This is something the Board of Trustees have been talking about, looking for a way to provide community members who might have an interest in one day running for an elected position at ARIN some additional information about ARIN. So we have put together part one, which is going to be a 4-module webinar series covering in greater depth than you hear about here at meetings or on the website, ARIN's operations, our services and how we determine what work we do, and then the roles and responsibilities of all 3 of our elected bodies, the board, advisory council, and in our own number council. So we are in sort of final preparation stages of this content, and you should be seeing a call to sign up to participate in these webinars sometime probably in early May. The goal is to present these series of 4 webinars before nominations open. And then another new initiative. In the 2019 organizational objectives for ARIN, there were 3, or at least 3, new initiatives. One deals with the grant program, and it says to facilitate internet advancement efforts in the ARIN region via refreshed ARIN Community Grant Program. So this program has been approved by the board. They've dedicated some financial resources to it. We are putting on final touches of the program description and getting set up, but sometime later this spring, you'll be hearing more about the grant program. And looking at here, it's for projects that align with ARIN's mission. So internet technical improvements, registry processes, informational outreach. So another, not new initiative, but maybe formalized initiative in the 2019 organizational plan, it says ARIN is to develop and promote ARIN Training Library by making training an integral part of ARIN's programs and services. So this is the first time it's been formalized. ARIN has been conducting education outreach in many platforms and areas for over a decade. But now we have a mandate to develop a formalized training program. So step 1 is finding Beverly and bringing her on board. And she is busy talking to people, learning our resources that are available within ARIN now, externally, and we'll be putting together a program talking about the various types of training. And some of the sample topics here, IPv6. You all have been asking for IPv6 training for a long time. We had a survey the end of last year and asked for your feedback. We're compiling that now. We have had a video library of how to use various aspects within ARIN Online. With the new website, the UI changed for many of those programs, so we're now in the process of prioritizing which of those videos to redo first, and we'll be doing that. There are other important topics, who is data accuracy. Leslie's interested in law enforcement training, so we are combining all of that now, and Beverly's going to have her hands full. And then another new item on the organizational plan is to increase ARIN membership through outreach to industry associations via programs with measurable results. So again, ARIN has been speaking at various industry meetings for decades, and more recently we've been focusing on what would be our value added to these organizational annual meetings per se. So we have been successful in reaching out within the WISC community, asking about bringing an ARIN registration services help desk to their meeting. They're members of these associations. Some of them are ARIN members. Some of them have resources from an upstream, do not yet have IPv6 and could be getting that from ARIN. So we are successfully exploring and reaching out to associations where we might be of value to their meeting. So I put this on here. If any of you participate in an association in your region or nationally and think that ARIN could add value by bringing a registration services help desk there, being on the agenda, please reach out to either me directly or send a note to info or contact John. We're looking for the places where we can be of most help. And now, because it's Wednesday morning, I have a little exercise with you all. And I want to talk about engagement with ARIN. So I'm going to ask a few questions, and please either raise your hand or stand up if you're cold and you need to get your circulation going. So raise your hand if you are subscribed to the ARIN Announce mailing list. Nobody's counting, just honor system, okay? Raise your hand if you're subscribed to the public policy mailing list. Ooh, that's even better. Raise your hand if you read ARIN Bits quarterly. Raise your hand if you know what ARIN Bits is. All right, we have a little work to do there. Raise your hand if you read the announcements on the home page of www.arin.net. All right. Raise your hand if you read the blog post now on the home page of ARIN.net. Raise your hand if you knew there were blog posts at the bottom of the home page of ARIN.net. All right, got a little more work to do. Raise your hand if you bookmark your login to get to your ARIN account and bypass the home page. Okay. Raise your hand if you're a voting contact for your organization. Keep your hand raised if you voted last year. Awesome. And then raise your hand if you volunteered to serve on a committee or write a guest blog. Okay, pretty good. And last but not least, raise your hand if you knew that my alma mater won the 2019 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Wahoo-wah. I'm ignoring that. That's fine. There's always next year for Texas. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about is feedback. We really are here to serve your needs. We move forward with a prescribed list of programs and tasks, but none of it matters if it's not giving you what you need. So feedback is very important to us. The top of the page of every website page is a feedback button. Let us know if there's something that doesn't make sense to you content-wise, it's missing, you think it could be better organized. We look at that and we will take action. We have an ARIN suggestion process for things other than policy related. If there's something, a new program you would like ARIN to explore, an enhancement to something we're doing, the suggestion process is formalized. We are committed to taking action on it. Your suggestion will appear on the website unless you ask us not to put your name on it. And you can track our conversations and dialogue internally, and we will be reporting back on that. We have open mailing lists that cover just about everything. We conduct surveys from time to time. We're looking for remote website testers. And also your interaction with staff here at meetings, at other outreach events, and the board, advisory council, NRONC is valuable, and we take all that feedback, and that feedback that John gets is dispersed appropriately amongst the staff. So we do listen and we do try to be accountable to your needs. And then we have the Ask ARIN through ARIN Online, and we have several generic mailing list, info at ARIN, members at ARIN, blog at ARIN, plenty of ways to reach us. Lastly, a look at our upcoming public policy and members meetings. So we will be in Austin, Texas in the fall, and then this is a list going down to future years of venues we have contracted. The two in bold, April 2021 and April 2022. So several people this week have asked me, how do you decide where you're going to have a public policy members meeting? And really, for the April meetings, it's about a network sponsor. We need someone to step up to provide the bandwidth to build out our own wireless network at the venue. that will accommodate you all and our webcast. So it's a collaborative process of identifying potential network sponsors with a location, with a venue that has enough space. So currently, we are looking for a network sponsor for April 2021. We'd like to get started in that process. So if you have an interest or want to volunteer a competitor of yours to be a network sponsor, send us a note to meetings@arin.net, and we will follow up. It'd be most appreciative. And then upcoming meetings, we have mid-May 2 ARIN customer lunches scheduled, one in Providence, Rhode Island, one in Boston. We have a next ARIN on the road in Montreal at the end of May, and we will be scheduling additional outreach events for the remainder of the year. So that's all I have. Be happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Susan? Thank you, Susan.
Excellent.